or whenever you are. Good morning, dear Dharma friends. It feels very good to be with you this morning, always does. It's not very long ago that I was broadcasting from the tent, and it would have been light for an hour or more. As it is, the light is coming in over the house now. It's a strange light. It's got that foreboding, dark look to it. It seems less thick in the south right now. Sobering moments. I looked for new information about Brighton Bush this morning, and I heard from a friend whose family have one of those cabins up above Brighton Bush, and apparently they think there's been quite a lot of burning up in the summer cabins, but the information is very sketchy. But those little towns one passes through on the way in are apparently gone. Quite something. Quite something unsettling. And I think this is a morning for this poem, which is actually, it starts off chapter 5 in my book. It's by Jennifer Wellwood. I have not yet met Jennifer. I did meet her husband, John, who wrote several books on consciously being in relationship. Actually, a kind of a high moment in my being with luminaries life. I had dinner with Joanna Macy on one side and John Wellwood on the other one night at a teachers' conference, and that was a lovely brushing of shoulders and hearts. So the poem goes like this. My friends, wait, I want to record. There we go. I should orient us to date. It is the 10th of September, 2020. My friends, let's grow up. Let's stop pretending we don't know the deal here. Or if we truly haven't noticed, let's wake up and notice. Look. Everything that can be lost will be lost. It's simple. How could we have missed it for so long? Let's grieve our losses fully like ripe human beings. But please, let's not be so shocked by them. Let's not act so betrayed as though life had broken her secret promise to us. Impermanence is life's only promise to us, and she keeps it with ruthless impeccability. To a child, she seems cruel, but she is only wild. and her compassion exquisitely precise, brilliantly penetrating, luminous with truth. She strips away the unreal to show us the real. This is the true ride. Let's give ourselves to it. Let's stop making deals for a safe passage. There isn't one anyway, and the cost is too high. We are not children anymore. The true human adult gives everything for what cannot be lost. Let's dance the wild dance of no hope. My friends, let's grow up. Let's stop pretending we don't know the deal here. Or if we truly haven't noticed, let's wake up and notice. Look, everything that can be lost will be lost. It's simple. How could we have missed it for so long? Let's grieve our losses fully like ripe human beings. But please, let's not be so shocked by them. Let's not act so betrayed as though life had broken her secret promise to us. Impermanence is life's only promise to us. Isn't that a line? Isn't that something? Impermanence is life's only promise to us, and she keeps it with ruthless impeccability. To a child she seems cruel, but she is only wild, and her compassion is exquisitely precise. Brilliantly penetrating, luminous with truth, she strips away the unreal to show us the real. This is the true ride. Let's give ourselves to it. Let's stop making deals for a safe passage. There isn't one anyway, and the cost is too high. We are not children anymore. The true human adult gives everything for what cannot be lost. Let's dance the wild dance of no hope. Or maybe it should be, let's dance the wild dance of no hope. Let's be free. Let's let go of the delusions and fantasies that cause us so much suffering. I'm finding reading like that different after 20 hours or so reading my book for Audible, elsewhere perhaps. I had a wonderful producer helping me do that, making me conscious of the reading itself. So what shall we take refuge in? I like those little towns one drove through on the way to Brighton Bush. I must have gone through there 100 times. Probably that's not an exaggeration. And it's like, no, now we're getting closer. Oh, we're passing through Mill City. And so strange to think that even towns, cities are impermanent. Just like the sound of this guitar. It starts and ends. The common denominator of everything is anicca. So where shall we take refuge? I'm thinking of the words here. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. A slight adjustment. Boom. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge in that mysterious capacity of being awake, knowing. I take refuge in the way things actually are, the practice of being in the present moment, and in the lineage and community of practice. And so we drop into the present moment. There really is nowhere to go to. There's no different person to become. There's just this. There's just being alive in this moment. And what really happens in this moment? There are experiences, phenomena in the body. Notice where the body makes contact with the chair, the cushion, the floor. There's something that's very useful to notice, which is that when awareness and the breath, for instance, are in deep communion, there are no fires. There's just this moment, breathing. In a moment of communion with the breath, there's no past. There's just now. There are experiences at what's called the mind door. Thoughts. memories, plans, fears. Thoughts of anticipation of something pleasant. Come home to the actual skin and bones, the tingling, vibrating aliveness of a body that breathes. Notice that it's true. Every breath has a beginning. Every breath has a rising to fullness, a decline, and then a vanishing. Notice the aliveness in that which you take to be your body. Notice where the clothing touches. Notice the temperatures. Some places are cooler, some places are warmer. And there, right in the middle of our experience, is our intimate connection. It's a connection with our trees. The trees that breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen for us. Right now, with the fires, there's billions of tons of carbon being returned to the air as carbon dioxide. A natural cycle. Come home to now, to this breath, to the details of this breath, to the fact of the wandering mind. We are deeply conditioned to live in thought. An imaginary self is created that thinks it's in charge and makes commentary on inner and outer experiences. Meditation is the most simple thing. It only involves waking up and noticing thoughts as thoughts, noticing mood as mood. When the body is walking or drinking coffee, or swimming, or chopping carrots, it's simply to do that. And we practice. We set up a circumstance like this, where it's possible to just be sitting. Notice the temperatures in the body. Notice the tingling and vibratingness of the body. Please let us make a great leap of freedom. Let's notice that in a moment of being really alive here, in this moment, there's only this moment. Bring to mind, perhaps, something that you're upset about or worried about in your life, some problem that you have. And that could bring up emotions. And then the task is to be alive there in that, to notice that natural unwinding. If emotions arise, notice them as emotions. They're natural, they're part of the living process. But are they you? Or are you refuge in being awake, in that which knows of these emotions? Awakening into the present moment is a radical transformation. To be here now with the life in the hands, in the face. We practice letting go, letting be everything. Who would I be if I weren't worried about something or weren't struggling with something? What if we were to realize that the struggles and the worries are all exactly what we need for our awakening? That which we think of as the problem, what if it's not really a problem at all? What if it's just life unfolding? Inhabit your breath as though it were a life jacket. Inhabit your body as though it's the only thing that exists. And let us think, let us create with this amazing mind a few thoughts about love and compassion. I aspire to love and accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. Or whatever your words are, please allow your own living process to be intuitive. There are many ways that I discover myself hurting There's physical pain, there's existential suffering, there's emotional pain, the pain of clinging to things as I would like them to be. Whenever I'm hurting, no matter how I'm hurting, I intend to hold myself in sweet compassion. Each of us is the entirety of the human condition. Let's hold ourselves in love. And just as I long to be loved and loving, so do my loved ones. May they too come to accept their lives as they are and be compassionate with any suffering they experience. Think of a friend, maybe a friend who's suffering right now, hurting. I think of my friend Luna, who's now, I guess, coming up on 2 weeks since her 21-year-old son died in his sleep. Or my friend Paige Freeborn, whose father is slowly dissolving before their eyes. May these persons hold themselves and the experience of this moment in love and compassion. And so we can think of neutral persons or categories of persons. Those being born, those dying, those in great wealth and power and those in abject poverty. These are all of us in our many forms, our many incarnations. May all beings share in the merits of our practice. May all beings know happiness, the causes of happiness, and the awakening of happiness. And as we come to an end of this sitting time, I want to read a paragraph written by Matt Flickstein, a teacher with whom I studied for some years. So please let these words just flow through you See where they touch. It's called living from a non-dual perspective. Everything that arises disappears. Whatever is born dies. Nothing escapes the cycle of birth and death. It is important for us to directly and experientially realize that there is never a point in time when something exists and is not in the process of becoming something other than it was just a moment before. All suffering comes from clinging, trying to hold on to that which is perpetually changing. And all clinging comes from delusion. We must learn to live in the clarity and space of non-clinging, neither grasping nor pushing anything away. The key is to just be present with what arises from moment to moment, with neither holding nor resisting. At the same time, it is essential not to fall into the trap of denying the relative existence of our psychophysical organism and the world of experience it presents. Compassion is the willingness to play in the field of dreams even though you are awake. Approach life with joy, enthusiasm, love, and an open heart. Take delight in the manifestations of life. It is all a play of consciousness. And it really is all play. If something appears serious or burdensome, even death, then we are lost in delusion. The field of dreams is this world of the senses with all its myriad forms. Being awake is the direct knowing there is no one who suffers, no one who's born, and no one who dies. It is the five aggregates that are born and die. Who we are has never been born and never dies. A body sits here full of life. It is nothing but life. It is the earth awakening. Please notice the contact of your body with the chair, with the cushion, with the bed. Notice the life in the hands. Are they even really hands, or are they just life? Receive in communion the life of the face, the lips, the upper lip, the nose, the eyes. Let your eyes move around inside their beautifully lubricated sockets. And then notice the intention for them to open, and then do the subtle work of opening the eyes. Opening the eyes until something rather dramatic happens. We've done it millions of times, so we tend not to notice, but why not notice that something of a completely different order happens? Seeing. Seeing. And If you're in gallery view, you'll notice 25 little thumbnails, portholes into other lives. Seeing. Seeing and remembering. Notice how the mind has its stories and has its responses and reactions to different people. What we take to be different people, I guess, is more accurate. Notice the mood that's present. I take it to be very important how we come to, and especially how we transition from, our periods of formal training. We can make an intention. I intend to just be here now, today, with whatever happens. It could be a day of a lot of pain, or it could be a day with surprises of pleasure, people reappearing who we haven't seen in a long time. And more likely a combination of the two. So I think I want to forego the announcements today and just open to what's happening for you. How is this cataclysm of fires affecting you? Do you have news of loved ones? So if you wish to speak, please just unmute yourself and you will be speaking.
Robert, how do you find your poems on your site?
Well, the first thing you do is you remind Robert to post them.
Robert, post your poems.
Oh, okay, right. Good idea. I'll do that. Thank you. I needed that. The second is go to robertbeatty.com. And after you are mesmerized by all the remarkable videos and things on that opening page, look at the top and you'll see blog. And if you click on blog, you will find the postings that I've done. And I confess I have been remiss in that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I will cross my heart, hope to die. That's an odd one, isn't it, from childhood? But I will put these two up there. I think Jennifer Wellwood's poem may already be there, but I will put this Matt Flickstein letter, of which there's more. I will post it this morning before I leave this spot. And do check out some of the videos there on the front page. I've had the opportunity to do some really remarkable collaborations with a couple of real artists. And my very favorite Buddhist document is there, the Trust in the Heart Sutra, the third Chinese Zen patriarch. And it's done with Sam Forenchich. And he's the person, if you've ever looked at the advertising for Come Visit Oregon, he's the person who did all those time-lapse photographs series. And it's really a stunning visual feast, as well as hearing that beautiful document, which I've carried on my person now for 40 years. And I've instructed my family and loved ones, if I'm ever in coma, read that to me. That's what I want to hear. So.
Thank you.
It's called The Great Way on the website. Hello, I hear someone.
Good morning, it's Eric.
Hi.
Hi. I was just...
Oh, hi, Chris. Eric.
Hello, good morning. Namaste.
Nice to see you together. That's an incredible hanging behind you.
Thank you. A friend painted it for me. Well, I've been going through a lot. It's kind of like an emotional calamity. On Monday we got the news that Chris's father's home that his great-grandfather had built in the Santan forest and all of their hundreds of acres of woods all burned. They only had like 10 minutes to leave and they had to flee, and there were logs across the road, and they barely made it out with their lives, and they had to leave their horses behind. And
Whoa.
within like 10 minutes of that, my doctor also called me to tell me I might have cancer in the area where I've been having problems for years, as you know.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, it's just been a big day, and then we had to go obviously help our family, and it's just been, I don't know, like an emotional volcano. But thank God that for these weeks and months leading up to this, I had this. For years you had been telling me to do a daily practice, all of us, you know, and I had always meant to. I always meant to. And somehow, and I would do a few times a week or whatever, but somehow the COVID made it so that this happened, and then I started doing it every morning, and I really did notice myself, like, zoning out, but then suddenly I feel like I'm panicking, or I have no thought besides worry. But I recognize that, and I'm like, oh, I have to breathe with myself over and over and over again. But I sat my screen down, or I turned away, and I guess I wasn't running away anymore. And it is emotionally hard and scary. But I don't think the trauma is going to be the same as it would have been had I not had the ability to pay attention. And so, while I'm still worried, and I'm worried that, my friends are going to get beat up by boogaloos, and I don't know, we're not all going to be able to breathe or whatever the heck, because everything's so crazy. But thank God for you, and thank God for the Sangha, and I don't know, the energy of love, and the reminders that it might be possible to ride the waves, even if I don't always know that it is. I know that it might be possible, and that it's like a life preserver, I guess. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, but that's what's going on.
Wow. Sometimes change comes as a cataclysm. Sometimes our lives are just completely thrown up in the air. And it is so essential to have the Dharma. And it's interesting to me how interesting is the wrong word. I too am very grateful for the Dharma because it's there when the shit hits the fan. You then discover, I've met people who I haven't seen in 20 years or more. And back when we were meeting on Sundays at PIMC, someone would show up and they'd say, I haven't practiced in years, but some cataclysm, some horrible thing happened 2 weeks ago or whatever. And I suddenly knew what to do and I remembered. And the beautiful description you did of the events are happening, the mind is freaking out, and there's another part which is absolutely not freaked out, which is saying, well, isn't that interesting? I'm freaking out. And so we don't get so lost in it. And I think that's refuge in the Buddha. That we are able to weather the big storms without making so much wreckage along the way. So...
Yeah, I'm so grateful that it didn't have all this happen 10 years ago when I just sort of wanted to, grab a drink or something.
Right.
I have the emotional wherewithal to be like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be here for all of this. I need to be. And more.
Yeah, the Buddha was pretty strong on practice when you're young and have the time and energy to prepare and to strengthen oneself, because really difficult times will come. So I am happy for you that you have the Dharma, and I hope they're wrong about the cancer. And I'm so sorry about the property loss. When you mentioned the horses, that got me.
Luckily, they found the horses after and were able to move them.
Oh, good.
The cows they still don't know about, but they didn't have to leave them, but they were able to let them out and get them near water.
Oh, good.
Then they found them later. It was very stressful at the time, but the cows, who knows, but the horses, they didn't know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyway, thank you so much for this gift that you give us, everyone. I think that these months made a huge difference in how I was able to approach this. So thank you.
Wonderful.
Darcy.
I hear someone.
Darcy.
Hi, Darcy.
I have to dash out at 8 o'clock because I'm up in Canada studying nursing on Zoom. So I just wanted to thank Garrick for sharing. We're actually learning in the curriculum about how to talk to people about potentially bad news. And I'm just going to hold you in that space today in class. But I just wanted to share with everybody how thankful I am that you're here when I need you. Being in Canada, I hadn't heard about Refuge being in danger. And I lived at Opal Creek for a couple of years, and I just found out yesterday that Opal Creek is in danger. And I came out to Oregon from Flint for a park ranger job in Mill City. And this is the first time I heard that Mill City was in danger. And that's kind of where I went from being a kid to an adult. My heart's a little broken. So I just wanted to thank you that I wouldn't want to hear that news without the support of Sangha and hear the poetry about change. And my class starts at 8 o'clock, so I really have to run. But I just wanted to thank Eric and thank all of you for being here. I'm so lonely up in Canada, and you guys are really important to me.
Thank you for sharing, and I love those woods too. We fell in love there, and I don't know, this woods all meant so much to us, so I appreciate that too, and I love you, and thank you.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for sharing, and I love you. I will hold you today in my thoughts while I'm learning. And on that, I have to go, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye, Darcy. Oh, there's Tim.
Hi.
Hello, Tim.
My brother's still hanging. My brother and sister-in-law are still hanging, waiting to see what their home, their property. They live out by Beaver Creek, west of Portland, in the forest. They live in a clearing in the forest, and some clearing in the forest. And they were evacuated, and they stayed with my nephew. And they stayed at some other property or something. But anyway, they can't get back in, and so they can't find out whether their house still exists, or the trees still exist there. You were talking about the impermanence. Actually, you just mentioned how important this is, given that is when you're young. Our father, my father taught us impermanence in sort of a farmer sort of a way, but we were children. He said, he must have said 1,000 times, the only thing you can count on is change. And he never went into details about it, and that means your mother's going to die or kind of stuff like that. They should have want to tell your children. He said that. Another homily, the only thing you can count on is change. But we were raised with that, grew up with that. And I think that my brother's a remarkably resilient person, and I think he's probably having a pretty nice day, basically. Partly because of the teaching. So I think that's important.
Thank you, Tim.
Morning, Sangha. Hi, Robert. It's Jessica.
Hello, Jessica.
I just wanted to say my physical reaction to all of this is my inner mom came out this morning when I saw Kat's lovely son snuggle up to her, and then hearing from Chris and Eric, and I just wanted to go back to the practice we once did early on, which is just to give everyone a hug. I'm so grateful for you all. I wish I could hug everyone right now. I wish we were at the center. Or we could just really hold hands and give a hug. So, sending lots of hugs to everyone. Thanks.
Yeah, Sangha's one thing in the easy times. It's quite another thing in the hard times. You know, on retreats, I did quite a few years of practice myself before I was teaching retreats, and the retreats were set up such that we arrived, and then there was the first night's dinner, and everyone was talking, and then we went into silence, And then silence ended and we had a last meal and then everyone left. And if someone left in the middle, they just disappeared. And I realized that this was really not really okay. And so I started, when someone had to leave in the middle of a retreat, we started honoring that departure with a particular simple ritual where we would chant, and then we chant in a circle, a beautiful chant of Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasam Gate, Bodhi Swaha, which means gone, gone, gone beyond the beyond, hail the goer. And I would set it up sometimes so that I was near the door, and the person who was leaving would be on my right, and then they would go around and they would bow to each person in the circle, and then they would get to me and bow to me, and then they would pick up their stuff and walk out the door. And then the circle would heal. And boy, I had no idea how powerful that would be, and we've done it now probably, 100 or more times, and that's what we do as a community, as humans. That individuals of us, we have to go, and sometimes it's to move to another city or to leave this life, and then there's that reconnecting of the hands, the reforming of the circle, and then there's new life comes in, and we're all camping together. We're all. It doesn't matter whether it's an intimate conversation on a train, sometimes somewhere in the middle of the night, and there's connection with someone, or it's a 50-year marriage. It always begins with hello and it ends with goodbye. And that's just the nature. And so to face that full heart on, then it makes that connecting of hands and hearts even more poignant. So we are very fortunate to have Zoom. Imagine doing this without Zoom. Jeez, it would be rough. We might find ourselves showing up in the ER just to have someone to talk to. Well, I know there's a lot stirred up in this group this morning. I can see lots of emotions on people's faces. Anything else someone would like to share? So we open our hearts in awareness to our suffering, to our resonance with the suffering of others. My mind also goes to the wildlife. I mean, squirrels. So we open to that and we support ourselves with the beauty and depth of the Dharma. The way these tragedies bring us home to reality. So my intention is to be back here again tomorrow. I will not be here next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think. My plan is to be in Zigzag, which is up on Mount Hood on the Salmon River. It's Jennifer's birthday, and we're going to have hopefully 3 nights in a B&B there. So Jim will be teaching Monday, and Candle on Tuesday, and Gregory on Wednesday, teaching, hosting, having the privilege of being in this this sort of this seat. And I'm not sure how that's going to work on Facebook and YouTube, but we will do our best. YouTube, I think, is not going to happen on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So let's go out with a song. Are you there, Kat and kids?
We're here.
Alrighty, you ready? I'm gonna unmute all. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Goodbye, lovely people. Lovely children.
Thank you, everyone.
May you all be safe, and may your loved ones be safe.
Hasta mañana.
Yes. I'm going to go post those poems right now. Okay, now. Copy. Then I go to log in. Okay, I forget that. Build. All right. Oh, no, I should turn this off. Uh-oh.